如何发挥重效，这是我们今天的讲座的议题。那我们很荣幸欢迎到我们的贵宾。首先，我们请我们的贵宾到前面来就座。中华民国台湾印度经贸协会欧晋德理事长。We'd now like to invite our guests to come up on and sit on the stage. First of all, the Taiwan India Business Association, our host for today, Dr. O晋德, the chairman. Also, we'd like to invite from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Tian Zhonghuang, the Deputy Minister Tian. 我们也欢迎我们中华民国外交部田中光次长。再欢迎到台上的是印度台北协会会长戴国瀾会长。We also like to invite on stage the Director General of India Association, Mr.翁文祺. Request our chief guests to please take their seats. Thank you very much. 接下来呢，我们要请我们的贵宾们为我们致辞。Now we're going to ask our chief guests to please give their addresses. First of all, we'd like to invite our host, the Taiwan India Business Association Chairman, Dr. O晋德, to give us his remarks. 我们掌声谢谢我们的中华民国台湾印度经贸协会欧理事长为我们致辞，我们掌声。
Good morning, Your Excellency, Deputy Minister Tian of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and Your Excellency Director General with us, India Taipei Association, and our Vice President Mr. Ong of Tiba, and our guest speaker, Professor Wang, Tsinghua University, and guest speaker Mr. Hu, President of Tiba Metro Corporation, and your honorable guests, and ladies and gentlemen. I'm very honored to be the first one to speak on this special occasion. I believe that this is the very first initiative program sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we, Taiwan Indian Business Association, Tiba, is glad to have the opportunity to organize such a wonderful event. The main purpose of this event, firstly, we like to identify what role Indian students can play in bridging the cultural gap between Taiwan and India, and how they can provide vital information to assess the Indian market. Secondly, we wish to find out why our young Indian students, why they prefer to stay in Taiwan after their graduation. We are curious about what challenge they might face while they try to look for the opportunity or a job for your future in Taiwan. But one last but most important issue we'd like to introduce all these bright young talent who has the understanding and knowledge about Taiwan to the industrial leader in Taiwan who has the ambitions to explore market in India. I believe that this bilateral communication would be beneficial to both Taiwan and India. On behalf of Tiba, I'm glad to work with Ministry of Foreign Affairs to provide such a channel. I wish all the best for today's event. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you, Mr. Dan and Mr. Dan. Thank you very much.
谢谢欧理事长。接下来呢，我们要邀请外交部田次 事长为我们说几句话。Next, we'd like to invite Deputy Minister Tian to give us a few remarks.
Thank you, Mia. Dr. O, the chairman of Tiba, and our ambassador from India to Taiwan, Honorable Das, and of course, my predecessor, Ambassador Philip Ong. He was in India for a number of years. And Kish Shamlani, the president of Indian Association of Taipei. He has been living in Taiwan for the last 42 years. So he is more Taiwan than I am, actually. I stay less than 43 years, I suppose. And of course, Professor Wang. And he has been to India for how many times? 40 times? 44. Look at that, look at that. Now we are talking with the Indian experts now. Okay. We have two Dr. Who right there. They all know India better than any average Taiwan people. Of course, first of all, I would like to thank Tiba to host this very timely seminar to bridge the industry and the students together. We understand India is a land of opportunities. I think there are a couple of figures can attest. If I may, actually, if we talk about the trade, since 2000, I think the trade volume was a little bit less than, I think $1 billion. But over the years, the figure has increased sevenfold. In 2018, our trade volume reached about $7.5 billion. And aside from that, I think we have about 120 Taiwanese establishments in India. Kama is one of them. Kama went there over 10 years, I suppose. And we have a steel mill, we have automobile components, we have medical devices, we have financial institutions. We set up a lot of things right there. And I would like to thank the Tiba again, because the chairman and also the honorable chairman, Theodore Huang, he is planning to have the first clusters established in Bengaluru. And once the cluster is completed, I think they will attract a lot of Taiwanese business establishment there. Because I myself, I spent 7.5 years in India. Again, I would not say I understand India. I only know a very little bit of India, because India is such complicated and diverse and so profound places. So when I talk with the Indian friends, I say, I know very little about India. They say, Ambassador, don't worry, I'm Indian, I don't know India either. Anyway, so my understanding is India is transforming. India is totally changed in every aspect. If we see from 2014, if I may, 2014 all the way to now, India has transformed from the hub of consumption to the hub of manufacturing. This is exactly Modi ji trying to do, to attract manufacturing to come to India, to make in India. Because he realized if India relies on import stuff, they will spend so much resources exceeding India's importation of energies, oil. So this is one thing. India has to go for manufacturing, to be the hub of manufacturing. In 2019, again, the new India being proposed. So I think this is exactly the opportunity that offers Taiwan business community to go into India. And when Indian opportunity arises, I think we need a lot of talented people to go there. I have to say, Taiwan, we know India, but we don't know India that much. And this is the time, the students, you are here, you're going to play a very, very important role to bring the Taiwanese industry, Taiwan business into that land of opportunities. I think for that, we have some people already starting his study, Manoj study in Taiwan, and he brought a lot of idea business into India at the beginning. So back to the Indian tradition, you believe in arranged marriages. And we are here to become the matchmaker. We are going to bring the industry and the talented Indian students together. You find the right business you want to go in, and the business community find the right person to bring the business to India. This is the matchmaking all about. So today, I think is the beginning of many, many forums following. So I'm very happy the industry, the entrepreneur can be here, and I'm happy that a student can also be here. I'm happy that your ambassador also can be here. Once again, I believe it's going to be a very successful forum. I wish you all enjoy and make the best use of the forum. Thank you very much.
谢谢次长的致辞。接下来我们要邀请印度台北协会会长戴会长为我们说几句话。Thank you very much, Deputy Minister. Next, we're going to invite the Director General of India Taipei Association to give us his remarks. Let's give a big round of applause to Mr. Dai.
Thank you, Priya. Chairman Dr. Ho, Deputy Minister, Ambassador PM, old friends like Ambassador Philip Hong, old friends like Professor Wang, Mr. Chiplaniji, Dr. Hu, and again Dr. Hu. Students from India, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It's indeed a real good morning, and I hope that this just presages the way ahead in relations between India and Taiwan, particularly in the field of education that many of the students here represent. First of all, I would like to thank the Taiwan India Business Association for hosting this very important event, and also to the Taiwan Ministry of Foreign Affairs for providing all the support and assistance. It's been a delight to see so many Indian students now coming and exploring Taiwan, because this is again, like Deputy Foreign Minister mentioned, India as the land of opportunity, but I also think that Taiwan is a land of opportunity for Indian students. It's a new area that we are only beginning to scratch the surface of. So 3,000 Indian students that are in Taiwan today probably represents a very small percentage of about 750,000 plus Indian students that go abroad to study. But the growth has been impressive, and I think the Taiwan government, the Taiwan's universities are taking all the right steps to attract the very best of Indian talent here. So I truly appreciate the effort from the Taiwan side to make this possible, and I also welcome the increased interest and increased attention that seekers of higher education in India are paying to Taiwan. Why do I call it a land of opportunity? It's because of convergences, some of which Ambassador Tian, Deputy Foreign Minister Tian just mentioned. He should know better because he, along with Ambassador Hong, have been close witness of this phenomenon of Indian and Taiwan education cooperation prosperity. And I suspect that both of them are not just close witness, but are also, in a big way, architects of this trend. So, the convergences that are making it attractive for Indian students to come here could be counted in 3 areas as I see it. And all of that is represented here today. The convergences of government policies, convergences of interest in higher education, global education, and also interest in the business world. So the business, the academia, and the government policies are coming together at a time when we need each other more than ever before. So I think that's why Taiwan is going to be a land of opportunity in the years to come. And I'm optimistic that once temporary aberrations like the COVID pandemic disappear, this trend is going to go even stronger. So let me elaborate a little on the 3 convergences I spoke about. Let me start with the convergence of government policies. The topic today has been presented as new Southbound policy, which we all know is Taiwan's policy for rediscovering its links with Southeast Asia and South Asia. It's a good policy and we welcome that wholeheartedly. But we also have in India, the government of India has its own policy of looking east, acting east. And as part of that, we have tried to integrate ourselves better in all aspects with this very dynamic region, which also happens to be our increasingly important partner in trade, economic, people-to-people, educational, and all other aspects. And Taiwan being at the heart of this region naturally plays a very, very big, important role here. So definitely we are looking east, we are acting east, and Taiwan is looking south and acting south. I think therefore there is natural interest for the 2 governments to see such increased people-to-people interaction. So that's about the government part. About the academia and about the students, since many of the students are here, so they, I think, represent it best. That global education has become something of an aspiration in India today. It's a new trend, it's a new development, and something that we did not see so much maybe 20-25 years back when I was a student. Probably at that time we did not have this sort. And even when global education was an aspiration, our destination was limited, and we essentially went to countries that we were familiar with, mostly in North America and England, largely limited to the English-speaking countries. However, in the last 2 years, I think the aspiration of being global has truly taken on a global nature. So it is no longer limited by the traditional destinations, and Indian students are now found everywhere all over the world. So naturally, there is no reason why they should not count Taiwan among their top destinations. Taiwan always has boasted of excellent educational environment, excellent faculty and facilities. So I'm sure the more the Indian students discover the opportunities and the strength of higher education in Taiwan, the more they will be attracted. The authorities in Taiwan, the universities in Taiwan have done a great job of offering very, very attractive scholarships to bring the Indian students, the forerunners like you. And I think it's very much upon your shoulders to go and share the best that you have seen in Taiwan with many who have not yet had the opportunity of doing so. So I think the students here definitely have a big role to play in bringing our societies, bringing our student communities together. The third convergence is what I believe is going to be the most critical trend in the coming years. Deputy Minister Thien already referred to the trend of Taiwan companies seeking Indian market. That is something that aligns very well with our own effort to develop India as a strong manufacturing base. We will probably not be the factory of the world, but definitely we should be the factory for India. It's a huge market opportunity in India, beckoning Taiwan companies to come and avail of the many opportunities that we are seeing today. India is also a well-integrated economy, globally integrated economy, and those who would like to look at India as a manufacturing base to export abroad also will find a very welcoming home and very strong policy incentives to do that. So this year, despite the pandemic, we have seen many Taiwan companies committing investment in India. Many of them are beginning their construction despite all the challenges of the pandemic. So I have no doubt that in the years ahead, as more and more Taiwan companies start looking into India, there will be a whole new ecosystem coming up in which talent will provide a critical boost. So since India is still a new market for many of these companies, they would look to people like you, the students present here, to guide them in their effort. In my discussion with many companies here, I find that to be the most limiting factor. So your presence here, the presence of 3,000 Indian students here, gives me enough confidence to be able to tell them that yes, here is a ready supply of manpower who you could tap to understand India better, to exploit and explore Indian market better. So I think these three convergences coming together is what makes me very optimistic that this dimension of our relationship is only going to become stronger. So we all have our own responsibilities. The academic community, the student community, people in government, and the people in business, they all have to come together, work as a joint team to see that this potential is fully realized. So with that, I again thank the organizers, the Tiba particularly, for putting together such an impressive gathering here, and there will be more opportunities for the students to hear from the experts. So I do not want to stand in the way of those interesting presentations. I wish once again the very best to the organizers and to the students in attendance. I hope that you will find this useful and spread the word around so that others can also benefit from this. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Director General, for your remarks. 接下来呢，我们要进行我们接下来的工作坊，所以我们请我们的贵宾们请入座。We'd like to request our chief guests to please take their seats because we're going to proceed with the actual core of the workshop. For that, I would like to invite the former ambassador, the former representative in India, Mr. O, to please lead us in our workshop. 我们接下来要进行我们的综合座谈，所以我们要请我们的主持人请上台。我们请翁代表，我们掌声谢谢我们翁代表今天为我们主持。
Good morning, everyone. Louder, please. This is like a classroom. How are you doing?
Right, back to school, right? First of all, I'd like to say a few words in the form of appreciation to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, especially my good old friend, Ambassador Tian. This event would not have been possible without MOFA, and without Ambassador Ken. Because I think this is the first time ever that the ministry is hosting an event like this, especially for the Indian students and companies who are interested in going to India and maybe in want of Indian talents, the first time. And another first I have to mention, how was your Diwali in Taiwan?
Good.
Yeah, you are not listening. Diwali is important in jobs. It was also the first time ever that 2 weeks ago, the Diwali celebration in Taipei was hosted by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And this credit should also go to Ambassador King. And I hope that will be an annual event, like this. And we have arranged 2 important speakers for the session. On my right is Professor Wang, a longtime friend of mine. He is like an enthusiast. Maybe his previous life was Indian, like I was. He's been to India for 44 times. So when Ambassador Dao talked about the number of Indian students now in Taiwan to 3,000, I think back in 2008 when I and Professor Wang went to India for the first time, at that time I would say that the number would be less than 300. So we have actually witnessed a tenfold growth during the past 12 years. So when the size is like 3,000, and many of the students are beneficiaries of Taiwanese scholarship, so they can come to Taiwan. It is time for us to consider what would be the next step for all Indian students. Traditionally, Indian students after graduation, a very small number of them stay here. Most of them went back to India. Some of them went to Australia or United States. We'd like to see that trend changing to where students after graduation who have become bicultural and hopefully bilingual, and with your expertise that you learn from the universities, you will be of great help for Taiwanese company wishing to cap the Indian market, especially that very important policy of Prime Minister Modi, make in India. That is very important. So I have 2 guests invited. Professor Wang, he has been traveled to India for many times with the sole purpose of attracting the best Indian student back to Taiwan campus. And he's from Tsinghua University, but he is very generous. He not only received students to the Tsinghua campus, he also helped other universities to do the same. So he has done a good job. And Mr. K.K. Hu, I think you arrived in India about the same year.
2010.
Yeah, about the same year as I was. He was able to expand the business of Karma, which is a manufacturer of wheelchairs, right? All kinds of wheelchairs, to India. And incredible success all by himself and with some of his Indian friends. And his coming here as a representative of Taiwanese business is to showcase the success of his story, and so that other Taiwanese companies can follow. And that more and more Indian students are going to be convinced that this is the right way for you to go in terms of your future career development. So I'll stop right here, and can I invite Professor Wang to begin your presentation? Right.
First of all, thank you very much for the kind invitation from Tiba and MOFA, and the Chairman Om of Tiba, and Deputy Minister of MOFA, also Ambassador Das from India, also former Ambassador of Taiwan to India, Dr. Om, and then the President Akashi of the Taipei India Association,
Dr. Hu of Taipei Computer Association, and Mr. Hu of Kama in India. It's my great pleasure and honor to have this opportunity to share my experience and my suggestion to students in India. When I mean student India in Taiwan, it also includes students in India going to be in Taiwan. Okay? Because my major purpose to visit India is to attract more brilliant students to Taiwan. Also to encourage Taiwanese companies to go to India. So I will help both the academia and industry, or both sides. And today, my topic is to recruit Indian students in Taiwan to become future human resource for Taiwanese companies. I'm now the director for the Center for Indian Studies, also director for the program office for Taiwan Education Center in India. At the center, I'm the senior advisor for global affairs, office of the president of National Tsinghua University. I was the vice president for global affairs for National Tsinghua University for more than 7.5 years. Today, my presentation includes those subjects. First of all, I would like to present information I've collected for the distribution of Taiwanese companies in India, and Indian student distribution in Taiwan, and Indian employees in Taiwan, how do Indians work in Taiwan, and then introduction of the Taiwan Education Center in India, also Center for Indian Studies, to see what we can do to help Indian students in Taiwan. Okay. And this is a very, very rough statistic about Taiwanese companies in India. For example, we have airline, China Airline, the major bank like CTBC Bank, and Mega International Commercial Bank in Mumbai, it's just the liaison office over there. ASUS, everybody knows ASUS, BenQ, Acer, #1 laptop in India, and Foxconn is going to open their assembly line in India after 3 years preparation. And MediaTek, very big business in India. They have 3 manufacturing plants going to have a 4th in Bangalore, and Wistron, with very large assembly line India. They will move from mainland China to India. And TSMC, with very large market, also they have more than 70% market share in the whole world. And Continental Engineering Corporation, although they have successfully built the subway system in India, however, they are waiting to collect their money. It's very difficult for any company in the world to go to India to run business successfully, make money. It's not easy because most of the companies in Taiwan do not understand India's law, accounting law, or other labor law, etc. So I have done more than 15 times how to do business in India symposium for Taiwanese business in India to help our businessmen in India to do business in India. And this one, the last but not least, the CCCI Corporation, this very famous consulting and construction company. They built the world's largest natural gas pipeline in Cochin in India. Now they have 300 engineers from Taiwan in India. They will build more large-scale construction for India. And this is statistics about the number of students in Taiwan. As Ambassador Hong or Dr. Mr. Hong mentioned, see, we started with very low number. In 2010, less than 500. Now we have almost 3,000, including students for degree, working toward degree or non-degree, like exchange students or students just come to Taiwan for learning Mandarin. These are the statistics for the degree student in 2019. Here we have the largest number in working toward PhD, which means Indian students are very brilliant. They are very important to our research in our higher education institutions. So in total, we have around 1,400 Indian students. This number may be very small, but very important because all these students are the best students. But we want to attract more, not only quality, but also quantity. Okay, so we have been working hard to promote collaboration. And this is the distribution of Indian students, degree students in Taiwan. I'm very proud to say National Tsinghua University has the largest group of Indian students, 207. 95% of those are PhD students. Without those, we're in trouble. because we have very low birth rate, the world lowest birth rate in the world. Without those 270 students, many of our PhD programs cannot function smoothly. So we are working even harder to try to attract more students to come to Tsinghua University. And in total, almost 1,400. And also, students not only come to national university, but also to private university like Nanhua University. They have 26 students here. Taipei Medical University, 26. Kaohsiung Medical, 31. I'm very happy to see that. Okay. And here is the Indian employees in Taiwan. When you visit National Immigration Agency, you see this statistic. And most of the Indians in Taiwan are for business. And that engineer, 434, largest group. Indian students are so smart for mathematics and ICT. When I was in the United States as a graduate student, my most strong competitors are from India. We need to compete with them very seriously on mathematics, on physics, on chemistry. Okay? So we are very lucky to have 434 engineers from India and one accountant and 76 teachers. You may be surprised. How many Indian professors in Taiwan already? I'm surprised when I was collecting those data. We already have 37 professors from India in Taiwan. I'm very surprised to see that. I will see more. Okay? And in total, we have 3,400, just like the ambassador just mentioned, with the male and female quite balanced. And here is the Indian employees in Taiwan. Largest group is in Hsinchu Science Park. Only 5 minutes by bicycle from National Tsinghua University. And in TSMC, they have 65. They all are high-level R&D people. Most of the core technology TSMC have been designed by the Indian scientists. Very, very core technology are by Indian because I had many interactions with TSMC, high-level management. They told me Indian engineers and scientists are so critical to them. They even went to the United States. They went to India to try to attract more scientists and engineers from India. MediaTek 20, Qualcomm 50, and Taipei Tech. This is the largest number of Indian professors. 7. In Tsinghua, only one. Only one professor. In Taiwan Tech, the best, or maybe Taiwan Tech the best. They compete with each other very heavily. They have 3. National Sun Yat-sen University in Kaohsiung has 3 in total. Okay? So in total, we have 37 professors already from India in Taiwan. And here you see, those are the role models for the student here today, because this is a senior engineer in TSMC. He is our distinguished alumni. And here is the circuit side, as I just mentioned, the only one Indian professor in NTSU, in Donghai, also in province university, both are private universities. And here we have Manoj, very brilliant manager in Tiba, and ELCINA, the Indian electronic industry, very active India, working for collaboration between Taiwan and India. It's important to have good food when you visit abroad. Same thing, wherever I go, any place out of the world, try to look for Chinese food. After a few days, with the local food, Chinese food is important to me. Similarly to all Indians in Taiwan, you need to have your home food. Okay? You can cook by yourself, but sometimes you want to go to the restaurant to enjoy those Indian food. Fortunately, in our campus, we have 2 Indian restaurants run by the Indian PhD students. Already 4 years. It has been so successful. And very close to our campus, also close to the science-based park. We have 6 Indian restaurants. They are now cheap. They are quite expensive, in fact. And the business has been so well. Even myself sometimes visit Indian restaurants. Okay? And here in Taiwan, we have a good distribution. Most of the Indian restaurants are in the northern part of town, 84. In south, 30. In Kaohsiung, there are many. The middle part, 25. So you have more than 145 Indian restaurants in Taiwan. So when you miss one, try to visit the Indian restaurant. You won't miss it. And how do Indian work in Taiwan? There are two ways. Try to allow Indian students to stay in Taiwan. I even don't need to spend a second to convince our students to stay in Taiwan because many Indian students already checked with me how to stay in Taiwan. So last December, when ITA and Ministry of National Development and National Tsinghua University co-organized a special workshop about Taiwan career for Indian students. So in that occasion, I learned our government has changed many of our regulations, try to attract our foreign students to stay in Taiwan. So today I will share this information with you. Here, this is from the website of from the Ministry of Labor. Here, our government approved those 7 categories, professionals, you can apply to stay in Taiwan. For example, you are specialized in technical works, director manager of an approved business, school teacher, full-time foreign teacher in grant school, sports coaching, arts and performing arts, contracting foreigners, directly copied from the website, Ministry of Labor. There are 2 channels. First channel is you can apply by wage and work experience. Second channel to apply by scoring criteria. This is a very new idea and which has been very successful because this system, the number of Indians staying in Taiwan has been increased more than 2.4 times within only 3 years after this implemented. So the first time was, or I should not say not successful, but not so successful because you need to have a certain amount of income so that you are eligible. And also you need to have certificates, operation qualification, or you have to have an advanced degree, master's degree at least, or bachelor degree with at least 2 years working experience. So you can see sometimes it's not easy to stay through that channel. Let me skip over this one. You need to have at least around 48,000 new terminals per month. Otherwise, you are not eligible for the first channel. Sometimes it's difficult for just beginning students. It's difficult. So our government invented this new idea. You can apply by new scoring criteria. What do we mean by scoring? In fact, it's not difficult at all. You can accumulate points. If your points are 70, then you are eligible to stay in Taiwan. I will say it's very easy because once you get a PhD degree, you got 40 points. You're halfway. Okay, 30 points for master's degree, 20 points for bachelor degree, and most of Indian students come to Taiwan for graduate degree. Anyway, also, if you come to Taiwan, and Taiwan is the best place to learn Mandarin Chinese in the whole world. Once you have the certificate, if you pass the test of Chinese like as a foreign language, you got 30 points because depends on level you pass. At least 30, 40 points. So add up your degree, you already 60 points. So you are almost there. And plus, if you have some working experience, you're passed. Okay? So it's very easy to go through the second channel. So I want to emphasize, it's important you learn Chinese Mandarin in Taiwan. Please take this best opportunity when you are here. Many of our students come from India. They cannot speak a single word of Mandarin Chinese. I said, please take this best opportunity. Plus, almost all universities in Taiwan offer Mandarin Chinese for foreign students at least 1 year free. I have very good experience. I invented a program for only 2 months. From Monday to Saturday, every day only Mandarin Chinese, no English. If you go to McDonald's, use Chinese to place your order. After 2 months, every student in the class grasps 60% of speaking and listening Mandarin Chinese. He or she can sit in the classroom offering in Mandarin Chinese and understand what the professor teaches. I think it's not difficult at all because every Indian, as far as I know at least 4 languages. I mean, local language in India. Different provinces, different language. India has more than 160 languages anyway. On the bill I received from India, 16 official languages. So learning language to India is really easy, really easy. So we Taiwanese need to learn from India how to learn language. Okay, and here, so this is scoring criteria, very straightforward, very easy. Please visit the website of the Ministry of Labor Affairs. I want to show this very successful role model between academia and India. The Far East Machinery Company. They went to India. They recruit high school graduates. For the first batch, 100. Now they already graduated. Some of them failed, and most of them successfully graduated from Ufeng Institute of Technology. It's a private institution. And most of them are in Taiwan and India. In Taiwan, they are the technicians or engineers. In India, they become the best salesman and the maintenance engineer for the company. So the general manager told me 1 week ago, he said, he will go to India to recruit the second batch. For the first batch, I think they invested 100 million new Taiwan dollars. Many people laugh at him. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? No, he's not crazy at all. He went to visit parents of every and each Indian student in these 100 students. All the parents were totally moved by him. They totally moved by him. So I think this is the first investment, large investment on human resource improvement, recruit by a single company in Taiwan. Here, very few remarks about the introduction of the Center for Indian Studies and Taiwan Education Center. Center for Indian Studies was established in Tsinghua in 2017. Major goal as a resource center for Indian studies and summer training courses for Indian culture and trade and academic collaboration. Taiwan Education Center, thank you for the strong support from Ministry of Education and Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have established 8 Taiwan Education Centers in India. This is a very small number. I hope we have 100 very soon, okay? So that we can help Indians to learn Mandarin Chinese without even they arrive in Taiwan. So I strongly encourage those students still in India, please start to learn Mandarin Chinese. When you are in India and then come to Taiwan, makes life much easier. How do we help? Give you some example. Here, for the Center for Indian Studies, we established under the support Ministry of Education, we established a resource center for academic and industry academic cooperation very long. With those major goals, unfortunately, Ministry of Education stopped this project. I hope this project can be resumed because we have been very successful by collaboration with the other 4 universities. We go to India together. We held more than 15 how to do business in India symposium, either in Taiwan and in India, and have tried many Taiwanese companies, Indian students, Taiwanese students, Taiwan businessmen to attend the symposium. We make arrangement for visiting university. Okay. And those are the very beautiful flow chart. You can check later about the academic demand and industrial demand, how to make the shorten, the gap shorten to help information interaction consultation. And the summer training center, we tried once, the first time. Almost 185 students applied, we could only accept 1/3. And those 1/3, they are the best students all of this class. They learn even Hindi. And they can speak some Hindi after this class. And we choose them, and we invited them to go to India for a free 1-week cultural exposure. It has been so successful. We hope we can have more training symposium workshops like this. We also help international companies with participation from Nepal, from Hong Kong, India, and Taiwan. Also, for the Taiwan-India relations and surrounding area, this topic with the collaboration with the India China Center for China Analysis and Strategy, located in Delhi, will continue to do so. Also, Delta Electronics, they have established academic industry collaboration through this donation of the scholarship to help Indian students to study in Taiwan and work in India or in Taiwan after graduation, not only for master's degree students, also PhD students. For the TEC Taiwan Education Center, as I said, very many thanks for the strong support from the MOE and BOFA. And from year 2011, we have 6 manual instructors. In fact, this number varies. This 6 means because of COVID-19. The top number was 15. More than nearly 10,000 students have been trained by us. And this is distribution of 8 India Taiwan Education Center, from north to south and to the west. We will try to set one, at least in Kolkata. I hope we will receive more generous funding from the government to establish more, because this is so important for the collaboration between India and Taiwan. This shows you what we have done for the, by the TEC. This is for the higher education exposition, opening of our TEC in SRM, in IIT Bombay. So we have not only offering Mandarin Chinese, our Mandarin instructors, they are very capable. They could design many cultural activities, including Dr. Wong. He designed this. Our Mandarin instructor went to this Buddhist temple to offer free Mandarin Chinese, and they all can speak Mandarin very well now. And this also important. We have trained more than 40, in fact, the exact number 48. 2 batches, Indian Army officers. They are now, most of them now in China, or in the northern boundary between India and China. I think they play a key role because language can resolve many issues. If other side misunderstand, big mistakes may be happen. Here, Taiwan education, higher education exposition, we have continuously held 9 times in India, in different cities, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, Mumbai, and Hyderabad. And we visited many important universities like IIT Hyderabad, and media. Many reports appear in the media either in Taiwan or India. And this is the signing MOU ceremony in IIT Bombay. We also actively attended many activities. For example, like this held at the 外贸协会, also say that Foreign Trade Association in Taiwan. They invited us to attend this important activity, Smart Asia. I was very honored to have the opportunity by appointing to receive former President Kalana visited National Tsinghua University. NTHU is the only university he visited when he visited Taiwan. I had only 10 days to prepare. And the laureates, Sataya, he visited Tsinghua University, the only university visited in Taiwan by that time. Okay, and also we hosted Taiwan Indian President Forum in 2018. Diwali, NTHU is the first institution to celebrate Diwali in Taiwan. Every year, all Indians in Taiwan come to our university. So all of a sudden, 7,000 Indians appear in our campus. And that's very likely. They are allowed to play the fireworks. We need to have the firefighter design to get ready because they can't play the fireworks along the lakeside of our campus. Very, very easy. And the other thing is, not only Indians play on a table, on the stage. Our students of NTHU, National Jiao Tong University, also participate in the playing, showing on the stage. They can dance Indian dance, they can sing Indian songs with Indian friends and students. Very important cultural exchange, interaction. And also this higher education in different locations in India. In Taiwan, since 2011, we have started to organize global Mandarin workshop. Starting from 5 years ago, which we modified the name to the workshop on Mandarin Chinese language, teaching and learning Indian. This is a very important channel to attract Taiwanese Mandarin instructors to go to India. So this year in Taipei, in Hsinchu, this is the first one, and in the south, we have the second one. And the other important achievement we just made this year, we organized this Taiwan Korea higher education for India. Because of COVID-19, and thank you very much, Ambassador Des was there. More than 537 people attended this workshop. Only 80 on site, 453 online in India. We invited 4 major companies. They already have the manufacturing plant or branch in India, plus another 4 universities in Taiwan. I think this is the best way to attract Indian students to come to Taiwan, work in Taiwan or in India. And this is the second one in the south, just happened last week. Okay? This is the first time we open this workshop to Indians who can speak Mandarin or not understand Mandarin at all, because we have both English and Chinese sessions. More than 170 people from India online in India, because they can speak Mandarin. So we interact very actively, because almost all Indians who can speak Mandarin in India, we have contact. Most of the time when we have activity, we invite them to join us in India or in Taiwan. And the second night of the workshop held in India, we have a higher education webinar, trying to attract more students. We invite 4 universities in the south. So thank you very much for listening. I hope everyone stay safe and healthy.
I'd like to thank you, Professor Wang. It's really very informative and very helpful. Can you back to your seat? And now I'd like to invite the second speaker, Mr. K.K. Hu from Karma Industry of Jiayi. And we will have a Q&A session after this particular speech, right? And to be followed by a presentation of 4 Indian students.
Thank you for having me here. My honorable VIP guest, Tiba, President, Director of the Indian Association, Mr. Tiba, President of the Indian Association, Taipei,翁理事长, Professor Wang, and Dr. Wu. It's an honor to be here to share Karma medical experience with you, especially after excellent presentation from Professor Wang. He already covered so many big companies, big Taiwanese companies, who have their office or operations in India. But I believe there are some still the hidden champions that like us, like Karma. So first let me introduce myself. My name is KN, and I have spent 12 years at Karma. And out of 12 years, I spent a good 10 years time in India. Karma is a Taiwan-based multinational companies. We started business in 1987 with the headquarters in Jiayi. Now, primarily all the rehabilitation products, such like ergonomic wheelchairs, the motorized wheelchairs, also to the top end, the prescription-based wheelchairs. Now, after 33 years, we have become the world leading brand in mobility aid solutions. Now we have a market presence in more than 40 countries. And of course, India is one of those the 40 countries. In fact, this is the 13 years we have covered. We have covered the Indian market for more than 13 years. 13 years back, we were able to sell the product around $3,000. But not right now, we are able to sell the product as high as $600,000. So it's almost 15 lakhs in Indian rupees. Okay, so you can see how much the gap it is. So now we have a global team in 9 countries. Apart from the one R&D center in Jiayi, Taiwan, we also have one design house in Netherlands. So by thinking globally and hiring global talents, we are able to keep growing and improving. So there are so many creation companies out there. In China alone, there are more than 100 creation companies. So what makes Kama so special? What makes Kama so unique? I believe the answer to that question is we have a clear vision, a mission to help physical traffic people to live better and enjoy their normal lives. For example, this is the concert event we organized. We invited our customers and their families to come to the National Theatre Hall, a Tibetan landmark to enjoy the travel performance. Since our mission is to help our customers, so to do that, we have to get closer to our customers. So how to do that? So this is a traditional kind of distribution channel. You can see the long distance between the manufacturer to the consumers. You have to pass through the distributors, the wholesalers. From wholesaler, you sell the product to the retailer, so customers can get your product. It's a long distance between the manufacturer and consumer. So as a manufacturer, sometimes they have a little interest to understand the market requirements or the customer needs, because they just leave them the jobs to their distributors. So sometimes from time to time, we might hear about as a manufacturers, the wholesaler, the distributors, they start to complain, hey, your price is too high. Your product is incompetitive in the market. There's so many layers involved. So how to solve the question? So how to solve the puzzles? So we use a BBC, the distribution strategies. The BBC, we call the business to small business to consumers. So to do that, so by removing the wholesalers and distributors, we set up our own companies, Kama overseas subsidiaries in selected countries. So we just bring the products by ourselves, and then we sell the products to the retailers. And from the retailers, we are able to sell the products to the end user, to the consumer. So you see the layer. Earlier, there are 3 or 4 layers between the manufacturers to consumers. Now, there's only 1 layer between Kama and the consumer, which is the smaller retailer. This is how we, we are able to streamline our distribution channel. So you can see this is how our global team is about. We have the sales opportunity in the Spain, in the UK, in Thailand, Netherlands, of course the headquarters is in Taiwan, and also the India. There's a very largest team over there, and Singapore, China, Malaysia, etc. This is our manufacturing unit. We have one power VHS manufacturing unit in Taiwan. We also have another unit in China, also Thailand, and India is the 4th one. So actually, we are about to start the construction in this March. Unfortunately, due to the COVID pandemic, it might take much time to complete. So, but it's already ongoing in the process. And from the pictures, you can see our team in the UK and our team in the Spain. And our team in the Netherlands, a design house. And of course, this is my favorite. We have more than 140 Indian team members over there. And I'm the only Taiwanese there. Sometimes I'm very confused. Any Taiwanese there? Yes, I'm there. So the key factor for Kama to success globally is because we have a global team can work together or can work seamlessly. We have meetings on a weekly or monthly basis to understand each market requirements, to understand the customer behaviors. So these meetings allow us to communicate closely and to work together to develop the business for Kama Group. So just give you a brief introduction about Kama India. So we entered the Indian market in 2007. So this is the 13 years we have covered in health industry as well as the wheelchair segment. So we are proud to say we are the #1 brand in wheelchair business in Indian market. We have covered more than 600 towns across India, from the top north, from Jammu Kashmir down to the south to the Kerala. You can find us. And so we have more than 2,000 channel partners who work with us to promote Kama products from the entry-level wheelchairs even to the high-end wheelchairs, like the one which you have seen, like 15 rupees, the motorized top-end power wheelchairs. And let me show you some of the proud moment of Karma. This is Amir Khan. He went to Hajj with his mother, and his mother was using autonomic wheelchairs. And this is why during the Rakshas pattern ceremony, you can see our customers sitting on the lightest, ultra lightweight wheelchairs as they tie the Rakhi for Prime Minister Modi. And from time to time, we also need to visit the hospitals and visit the physiotherapists because they have they have domain knowledge in their field, but they don't know how the function, how capable the wheelchairs would be. So we have to go there to pay a visit and provide the training for those professionals. Also, we have some experienced marketers. We invite our customers or to come to the campus to see the products and to completely try the products by themselves. As you can see the qualities of our products, you can see what kind of features our products can provide. Sometimes we also run assessments in terms of India to create awareness. So sometimes because Karma is loosely used in India. You have the Karma hospitals, the Karma temple, Karma dream center. So nobody knows Karma is one of the richest companies. So we also need, from time to time, also need to do some advertisements in the newspapers. So in my experience, I believe the Taiwanese and the Indians, they can complement each other. But before that, you need to understand the cultural communication indicator. You need to understand the difference between the Indian and the Taiwanese. And to work with your international colleagues, you have to adjust your behavior. For example, you can find this chart. You can find the similarities and the differences between India and Taiwan, right? So let's talk the first indicator, that's the time. We all know time is very important, and most Indians, they also recognize time is very important in their life, but they don't feel the bond, nor they feel the need to control it. In contrast, the Taiwanese are tend to be very punctual. They might arrive meetings earlier than scheduled. They also have the discussion topic also fixed beforehand. Is the time indicators. Another indicator is like the communications. We have similarities with both India and Taiwan. We have high context, indirect kind of the language. But India is more expressive. So we need to, it's involving the emotions and the feelings. Sometimes you can see that in-depth discussions of ideas and so on. But whereas like Taiwanese tend to be more pragmatic, we prefer to deal with the data and the fact. That's the difference. Another difference is in terms of the personal space. And the Indians tend to be more open and willing to share their experience. They want to share their ideas. However, the Taiwanese try to be more private. Most of the Taiwanese people, the business people especially, they try to keep the information at themselves. Because sometimes the management information is the key to manage the power. And sometimes, another good example is when I arrived in India, and during the meetings with my Indian colleagues, in terms of the public and the private, the space. For example, if you see the Indian people, they drink mineral waters, they drink the water just like this, right? But for Taiwanese, we prefer to drink water just touch the mouth and drinking water. So it's a difference. If you see the cultural difference, there's a difference between the personal space, the private, and the public space. So you need to understand this kind of cultural difference. This is how I survived in India for more than 10 years. And the last one is the thinkings. And from all the example I was given, you can see that the Indians prefer to take the decisions based on the experience. So it's more like kind of the effective way of thinking. But however, the Taiwanese try to be decide more pragmatically. They prefer to collect all the data before making any decision. So sometimes most of the Indian people or Indian businessmen they find why the Taiwanese taking so much time to reach a conclusion because we like to get all the ideas, the details first. This is the difference. So I believe, it's a nice issue for those students who already studied in Taiwan because you already knew both cultures, you already knew the language. So we have the better opportunities than anyone else to work for Taiwanese companies. This is what I believe. And what other job opportunities at the CARMAX? Now we have one program. It's called CARMAX Overseas the Rotation Programs. So the program that was designed to providing a CARMAX talent pool for CARMAX overseas the companies. We try to develop a well-rounded talent in the sales, marketing, in the finance, and logistics, etc. So we hope once you complete the program, you have the skills to be one of our regional heads in our overseas companies. This is how we hope. As a recruiter, what we care. As a recruiter, we hope that you can answer the questions in your cover letter. So why choose these industries? Because it's kind of healthcare industry, especially in mobility industries, it's sometimes very unique. You need to really careful. You need to understand why you want to enter this industry. For example, I want to help people. I want to change the people's life. Something like this. Why you are fit for the CARMAX and why we need to have you on board. So a cover letter is a good chance to make a good impression on the recruiter because every day our HR department receives numerous CVs, so you can make good impressive on them. You have a better opportunities to get the interview. Alright, so this is all for my presentation. So I hope and wish you really the best. Thank you.
And I also now invite Professor Wang back on stage so we can sit here and try to do our Q&A session. I'm expecting questions from the floor to the two speakers. Any questions? I'm under the impression that Indian students are very good at asking questions. Am I right? Am I right? Or you being Taiwanese? You've been behaving like Taiwanese. Let me say a few things. This is today's program is in a large picture to fitting the so-called new Southbound policy arena. And there is one thing I'd like to add at this point. That why is it called new Southbound policy? Because in the previous administration, there has been two initiatives. Southbound Policy 1, Southbound Policy 2, and this is Southbound Policy 3. And what makes it new? It is because this particular Southbound policy is for the first time that India, as a country, as a market, was included. Today, so it's all fitting the product that we are staying here to have this session, especially with the sponsorship of MOFA. Now, any question in terms of your jobs? Yes. You're not looking for a job, sir?
Actually, Sensei Dr. Mohan said that when the students from India who are coming here and getting educated, if they can be employed here or in Indian factories and all that, then there are some students it's on? Yeah, actually, it's okay. It's on. Hello. Actually, Dr. Wang was saying that the students who are coming from abroad and studying here, they can be a very good asset to India and to Taiwan. Of course, this is definitely a very good thing. But some few students who have not getting the jobs and they are looking for it, there should be one window that they should approach to them. If you can solve their problem, means if they are not getting the job, then what is the problem? If some help can be provided over there, then these people who don't have any knowledge whom to approach or where to go, this window can solve their problem and it adds to your efficiency.
Yeah, I get your point. You're saying that perhaps a mechanism should be set up for the job seekers and the future employer to be connected.
Yeah.
Dr. Wang, do you have anything to say about this one?
I think this is a good idea. I think that our government will be able.
I think our government should do something. In fact, I made a suggestion to Ministry of Education about 3 years ago when Professor Liang Qichen was the Deputy Minister of MOE. I say every day we receive email from India, from students. They want to come to Taiwan for advanced degrees, right? But the professors are so busy. We cannot reply every year. Every day I receive at least 20 emails for this kind of thing. I say Ministry of Education should do something. They should have a special division responsible for all the emails for requesting to come to Taiwan for higher education or looking for a job. I think this is an easy job because for professor himself, themselves, we cannot do that. We're too busy. If we have full-time people.
Yeah, okay, I get your point. We're trying to find a solution, all right? Maybe this is a small market to be looked at. Yeah. So there has to be an intermediary where the information of the jobs and the information of the student can be communicated, right? I don't know. Maybe Ministry of Education is a candidate to do this. Maybe Tiba, I don't know. Maybe the other institutes. But this is a very valid point. I think we'll continue to think about it. Yeah. Thank you, sir, for this suggestion. Any other question from the floor? 我们台湾的厂商代表有没有什么想法？可以用中文讲呀，因为今天有翻译的。
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, the one in the middle, the gentleman in the middle. Yes, you raise your hand. Yes, please.
Sir, actually, I'm a PhD student.
No, starting from the gentleman right here. We'll follow. Yeah. Can you go on?
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity to share our thoughts. I have a concern about being a PhD student.
You are a PhD student,
yeah, I'm a PhD student. I saw the number of PhD students graduated in 2019, that is around 900 PhD students. But compared to graduating students and job opportunities for the PhD students, is comparatively less in Taiwan because we see that mostly we have very limited options, like either after PhD what to do, then actually we are looking for the industrial opportunities, but we don't get those opportunities. So we have one last option, that if we go for postdoc. Then, so I really concerned about how we can get the industrial opportunities in mostly Taiwanese industrial sector. So I would like to ask how to deal with this issue, like for the PhD students. So what opportunities, what ways you can provide us so that we can study and we can contribute something here in Taiwan. Yeah, thank you.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that as a PhD student, you are open to jobs either in campus or in the field, right? But for the company job, you have relatively limited access to get those. But I think Karma is a good example, right? But this, of course, this one individual company who is doing very successful. And mind you that in the floor, we have also invited about 20 companies on that side. They are prospect employers for people like you, who is willing to stay and work for Taiwanese company and perhaps going back to India to tap the market. 我们那边的厂商有没有要用中文讲话？看看你们为什么今天来，可以吗？我可以邀请你们讲话吗？来 ，the lady over there.
Hi, hello everyone. I'm from Apache Footwear.
Apache, by the way, is one of the largest footwear manufacturers in the world, probably one of the top 5. They have big operation in China area, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think actually it's a
probably Taiwan is a very good example for us and for our industry, or for all of the companies who have some investment in India. I think we can get a strong connection with each other. And for example, like other participants who mentioned about, I think we can build up a platform. I think it's maybe very simple, just a digital platform, and we can share the information and the education facilities that can share the information from the students. And the industry, we can share our requirements about the manpower requirements, and then we can get a connection. And I think probably just use some part-time manpower, and then we can build down the platform, and it will be very helpful for our students, Indian students in Taiwan, and also for the industry who get a lot of work opportunities or job opportunities in India or in Taiwan. Okay.
Thank you very much for your explanation. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Have you been to India yourself?
Yes.
Many times?
I joined Apache footwear industry for 1.5 years, and I have been there for 3 times.
Now, do you employ quite a few Indian people in your operation?
Yes, actually, Apache is, I think localization is very important for us. Yeah.
Now, do you have preference for PhD student or master degree student?
Of
do you
course.
have room for PhD students?
Of course, we do have the requirement because we do have the development center in India. Yeah, so we need
R&D area, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm asking on your behalf, right? I'm asking on your behalf. PhD students are sometimes discriminated in the job market. I used to work for the post office in Taiwan. I was the chairman of the post. Every year when we recruit new people, there may be 5 or 6 PhD students applying for the job. But consistently, they have all been denied because they are PhD. We don't need PhD. That's why a company like Apache.com, do you welcome people, Indian students with very high degree to join your companies? In case you come up, yes. Yeah. 好，谢谢，好，谢谢。I think the platform thing is important. Yeah. Maybe with the permission of Tiba chairman, Dr. O, maybe we can, through Manoj or others, we can provide some kind of free service so that this platform can work on its own when after it is set up.
Yeah, I quite agree with that. In fact, for myself, also today's seminar is also very educational. You see, I'm up to my surprise. I didn't know that there's so many Indian students studying PhD here. And I know there's many of industrial, they are looking for talents and to work with them to India. And we're just looking for it, and we don't know. There's a lack of channel. And I think that is something. I'm surprised, very surprised. I didn't know there's so many here. It's like a treasure here, and we don't know how to get it.
Yes,
so
right.
I think that Tiba should
play a role.
Platform and play an open role.
Oh, that's good.
I think this is what Deputy Minister again looking for. And I said we should work very close together. We can open a network. In fact, we have put on the kind of communication line and all you demand, and I'm openly invite because we have more than 100 now with industry members. Their cooperation, their keen interest to explore the opportunity in India. But the first thing they want to have someone to work with them and to go with them. And in order, like myself, I tried to take out myself. Yeah. I didn't know the treasure is there. Yeah. So I promise that I think Tiba will definitely set up a network and provide the channel for you all.
Good. I appreciate Dr. O's, it's not suggestion, your commitment, right? Yes. Because I cannot say this for him. I'm the deputy chairman of Tiba. He is the chairman, so he will have to say yes. I think Tiba can play a role in this. So Manoj, maybe you will receive the instruction from the chairman that this web or this internet thing can be set up as soon as possible so that it can be fully utilized by, because we've been investing so much so far as the MOFA is concerned, in my tenure of 4 years, in the tenure of Dr. Tian for 7 years, we have invested our time 11 years and provided maybe thousands of scholarships, a very generous scholarship. And I suppose many of you people here are recipients of the scholarship. And for our own interest, we'd like you to stay. We'd like to stay to work and to raise your family here and become part of us. It is insane to invest time and money in all of you and then go back to USA or Australia. So that is insane. I think this is what we are trying to do to make all this happen. Yeah. Any more questions?
Sir, I want to.
Yes. Who is going? Yes. The one in the back, please. Sorry.
Sir, I recently graduated from Tsinghua University. I'm a PhD student.
You graduated?
Yes, sir, from Tsinghua University.
You got a job?
Sir, I'm trying to find a job.
You're trying to find a job?
From
Okay.
last 1 year, and I'm consistently applying every single day through the job portals. But after getting very tired, after applying so many times, in the job fairs, I met with the HRs of the companies to whom I was trying to approach. And
What is your major? I mean, what is your specialization?
Chemical engineering. And then I asked the HRs, and the HR say that we don't need a foreigner, and that's the reason they are not replying me back. I also have the email from the Italy that have specifically told me that in the chemical engineering and catalysis section they don't want to hire a foreigner, and that's the reason it's not getting it. I have received several emails from the.
Okay, I know your problem. No. Yeah. So you want to have a job right here, right?
Sir, how
a decent job, right?
Sir, if they don't allow me to even go for an interview, how can I get the job?
No. Now you are from Tsinghua, right?
Yes.
And do you know him personally, Professor Wang, until today?
No, sir.
Have you met him?
No, sir.
So you've been looking for jobs for 12 months without first coming to Professor Wang. That seems to be the problem. Now you know where the problem is now. When you go back and during lunch, we're going to have a free lunch day so you can interact with one another. When you are having lunch, go to Professor Wang and ask him to help you.
Okay.
He will.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. He will take after you, look after you like he is your father. Right?
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
One more question.
More
Yes,
questions?
there's also one question here.
Last question.
Yes. Oh, here, right here. This young lady right here.
Okay, I'm waiting so much time since backside and no one is looking at there, so I came here.
Okay, good.
Hello everyone. I know people are
Are you also looking for a job?
No.
Okay, good.
I know people have so many questions about job, but here I just want to say a positive example. I have been recently graduated from Chauta.
Chauta.
Yeah, Chauta Kashwe.
Chautong.
Yeah. I'm actually, I don't say I'm lucky, I work hard. And definitely 104 is a very good opportunity for me. Because since I was working for my graduation, I have been offered an internship in a global level company, Aided Technologies. And you know, after being an intern for 6 months, they directly offered me a job. So I didn't have a very hard time to find a job.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this just to tell you, but like a positive example. I have been also offered in other companies, but the thing is that I worked in other company too. I don't want to say the name. The problem is in the other company, I did not feel happy. Like it's mostly like Taiwanese other people, colleagues. They're not friendly towards Indians. But the company I'm working now is a global level company, and we deal with many international clients, and they are very friendly.
Does this company need more foreign workers like yourself?
I don't know about that, but of course, yeah.
You can offer information on a private basis later on to some of the fellow Indian students.
Yeah, definitely. My company is looking for more international opportunities because my manager himself is a German person. And also the other thing, I think many of you know here from, I think in Taiwan they mainly concentrate on semiconductors. But I would say that people always look after semiconductor engineers. Even in your presentation I have seen that you have the numbers of people working only in semiconductor companies. I can say that all 6 of them, they are from semiconductors. But it would be really nice if you would look after some other companies like Nvidia, Google, Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I am from AI, so I would say I know these companies. But I am very sure there are many other Indians who are successfully working equal to TSMC and MediaTek, all these semiconductor companies in other fields. I think it would be good if Taiwan has put more focus other than semiconductors also to encourage our young talents. You know, like it's little bit degrading. People only expect, oh, you are from TSMC, oh, then you might be hard. But you might be very talented. I would say that's not the real thing. People who are working in Nvidia, other companies, like other fields, it could be chemistry, it could be anything from history or mechanical, biotechnology, all these fields are also equally important like semiconducttors.
Right.
Yeah.
I got your point. Now, 2 things. She is lucky to have a good job that she likes, right? Yeah.
No, I'm not lucky, I work hard.
Yes, you work hard. And do you speak the language, the Chinese? What about you, sir? The previous. How do you speak Chinese?
Sir, I can just communicate a little.
Yeah.
Chinese, but
that is why Professor Wang has been emphasizing in this presentation the importance of picking up the language.
So when I gave the job, I went to the HR, they said that I don't know how to write the Chinese and who will do the documentation work like weekly report, monthly report, they have to write.
This is a hard fact.
Who will write that, and they said me that they need a translator, so they cannot hire me.
When I was in New Delhi, I talked to a number of people who are interested in coming to Taiwan, but not very strong. And I told them, if you have your kids coming to Taiwan for 3 or 4 years of educational investment, what would they get? Number 1, they will get a decent degree. Number 2, they will be able to speak a language which is used by 1.5 billion people. Plus your own Indian language, that's 2.6 billion people, nearly half of the population of the world. Number 3, sending your kids to Taiwan for campus, for education, save you a lot of money instead of sending them to the USA. So the second part is important, the linguistic proficiency of another important language. And when you are in any campus, either Jiaoda, Qingda, Taida, all the language program Mandarin are free, isn't it? Yeah. So this is something that all the students should be heeding, that it's a useful language. We're not talking about the Dutch. We're not talking about Portuguese. We're talking about Chinese, plus Hindu, plus English. That's easily 3 billion or 4 billion. Yeah. So I think we have 4 presentations coming up. Small presentation, right? Manoj?
Yeah.
Is this true?
It's an interactive session with the Honorable Deputy Minister.
Are they going to come up here? Give presentation or what?
It's all fine, sir. On the ICMs of here or sitting here, they are sitting in this room.
Are you prepared?
Yeah, they are prepared, sir.
So we should give them the floor so they can come up here? Yeah. Yeah. So we will end this session and to be followed by presenting of 4 Indian students who are now working in Taiwan.
7个教授，我觉得非常好。
Sumit, Shada, Vivek, and Rama, please come on the stage. And so you are going to lead the introduction session with them? Okay, just the experiential, right? So today we have invited 4 Indians working in Taiwan, and they all 4, you can say, is a successful story. Like they all have received the Taiwan scholarship, BOFA, MOE, and the university scholarship. And after that, they decided to stay in Taiwan and work in Taiwan. And how they are contributing and what role they are playing between India and Taiwan. Each and everyone today is going to share their experience and what better can be done and what challenges they have faced as a student or while looking for a job. So each and everyone, Mr. Sumit, Mr. Vivek, Mr. Ramashankar, and Professor Shada is going to share their own experiences. So to start with, as you can see on the slide, is Mr. Sumit Jagadale. So you can use the mic or you would like to use the mic.
I guess I'm fine. Good morning, everyone. It's my honor to be here and to be a part of this event today. And respected Minister, distinguished guest, and all ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am Sumit Jagadale. I am from Maharashtra state of India. It's been 5 years I am staying in Taiwan, and I am working at one of this AI-based company. So I am working at Solomon Technology Corporation, which is AI-based company doing applications and manufacturing 3D vision cameras, and we are having a very much advanced technology in the world. And I would like to tell you we are one of the top companies in the world who is working in the field of AI, 3D vision, and automation robotics. So at Solomon, I'm working as an application manager, and I have developed my own team in Solomon. So I'm heading a team in USA. So we do have 2 offices in California and Detroit, and I'm heading a team in Taiwan headquarters as well. So I did my master's from NCTU, and I would like to tell you it was quite a great journey, because when I was doing undergrad, I was decided to be in the field of robotics, and I was passionate about the robotics field. And when I went to, websites of NTU, NCTU, ITRI, and I was very impressed with the research availability there, the labs and the finest professors, the publications, patents, which was really encouraging for me. So in 2015, I got admitted at NCTU, and I finished my master's within 2 years. And during my master's, I had a chance to be an intern at ITRI. So I was really fortunate to be a part of ITRI, and during this internship, I was working on one of the biggest and prestigious project of Taiwan, which was autonomous car. So that particular research field and that internship was really helpful for me. As she said before, I also had no hard time to find a job. I would like to tell you, when I was graduated, before getting graduated, I have 4 opportunities in my hand. So as people are struggling with the job, I would recommend them, when you're looking at the job opportunities, first of all, try to make sure about your domain. So as I said, I was interested in robotics, so I was pretty much clear about what I want to do, what I want to achieve, and then I approached to the same company. So again, this AI field, robotics field, automation field, these are like quite new, and these are growing fields. As a student, yeah, definitely there will be challenges. First of all, the language barriers, because of these Chinese language barriers, sometimes it was difficult for me to discuss with my mentors at my lab. And again, few courses were taught in Chinese. But at the same time, we had great support from those professors, respective professors, who really arranged another students who can really speak English very well. So they helped us throughout the course. They arranged all these materials in English. They arranged examinations in English. So that was really appreciable for us, and I'm really thankful to them. So there are some challenges, but there is some solution to work on that. And apart from that, at Solomon, I'm responsible for all the international projects, including, of course, including India. So I'm glad to tell you, we have worked on several Indian projects. So one of the biggest projects I have done so far with Tata Group. Along with Tata, we are working with Bosch India, Siemens India, and John Deere. And while working with Indian companies, sometimes when you are working with the new technology, so it's quite difficult for Indian companies to trust the new technology when there is no local support or there is no local company present in India. So when they see Indian face in Taiwan, they are quite comfortable to discuss. They are quite comfortable to trust the technology. And when I'm technically discussing on the projects, so they are like really comfortable to proceed further. And then things happen further. They can contact our sales and our marketing team to go further with those projects. So once again, thanks a lot for giving this opportunity. And I'm really happy to be here. And I could express a few of my thoughts with you all. And again, I would like to mention one last thing. Taiwan's growing ecosystem, technology ecosystem, then the research facilities here, and importantly, competitive but friendly environment, working environment. It's really encouraging for all the internationals and for all of us. We do have some advantages of having English ability, and many companies, because they want to deliver their technology, they want to deliver their products globally. So definitely they are looking for international talents. So if you have potential, technical skills along with communication skills, I don't think so it's that difficult to find a job. I'm sorry because I'm from engineering background, I'm not pretty much sure about all the fields. Even my wife, she's a dentist. Even she's struggling with medical practices in Taiwan. So every different field have different difficulties. But I would say we can work hard together, and I would love to transform this technology definitely to India, and I would love to see both the countries are growing together in the field of robotics and automation. Once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Rohit, for your sharing your valuable experience in Taiwan. And from here, I would like to request all the remaining participants to give introduction and all the experience and what challenges faced. Stick into 3 to 5 minutes maximum. Thank you. Next, please. Professor Shadab Khalid.
Thank you. My name is Shadab. I'm working currently at the National Football University as an associate professor. And I thank Tiba and MOFA for giving me this opportunity to talk here and share my experience. Now, I came to Taiwan in 2007 as a master's student, and I got Taiwan scholarship. I was lucky. And then my advisor suggested that I continue for PhD. So after 1 year, I shifted to PhD and completed my PhD and got a job before I graduated actually in National Football University, and I have been working there for the last 7 years. Now, from my experience, I believe that I did not face any problem as a student because the courses were in English. Outside the campus, I had Chinese proficiency, a bit of it, so that was not a problem. Financially, it was not a problem. And finding a job also, at least in academics, there are very few jobs that are available for foreigners. But the system is quite simple and fair. I mean, you just go to the website. I mean, we don't use 104 for academic jobs. Go to academic, most websites, and you can easily find all the listings that are there in English. And it's not that difficult. If you have this skill, the most important thing that I see that recruiters are looking here for is mainly that you are going to stay here. People who are looking for a short-time job, like 1-2 years, most recruiters are not interested in that. Especially in universities, they're looking for a long-term relationship. They see if you have the commitment to stay for a long time. And that's what they look for, and your interest in contributing to Taiwan, and not just see it as a platform to move on to some other country. So if you can establish that, and of course, I mean, getting degrees here, it's not that difficult. For Indian students, it's the research facilities are great, the funding is great, so it's very easy to actually get a good degree in Taiwan and then find a job if you're looking for the job in academics, you make sure that you're trying to convey, you're getting to convey what they are looking for, not what you're looking for. So that was, for me, it was not that difficult. It was a fair process, and I have been here, and I don't see any reason to leave Taiwan. The job security is good because of the culture. Firing is very low. It's not that people are fired easily. That's the benefit of being here. You have job security. But you'll have to put your effort into that to make sure that the recruiters are interested in what you have to offer, and you have to see that what they are interested in. Understanding the culture is really important. Now, for the time I have been here, I've been trying to get more collaboration between Indian universities, and in terms of research in my field, at least not many students come to study business. Not many Indian students come to study business. That's something that if it changes, that would be a very good thing. Because not only business, but also humanities. Very few people come here from India to study humanities. But if that sector is tapped, I feel that there is a lot of opportunity in Taiwan, and these people from business and from humanities can increase the interaction much more than we have right now. So I've been trying to, last 2 years, I've been taking Taiwanese students to India on industrial trips to do internship in business, in companies like manufacturing and in service as well. And I've been trying to get funding from the Office of International Affairs in my university to continue doing that over the years to engage Indian and Taiwanese students in cultural and business exchange. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Shadab Ali, for sharing your valuable experience with us. And next one, I would like to invite now Dr. Ramashankar to share his experience about Taiwan.
Distinguished ministers, honorable ministers, guests, and dear friends, a very good morning to all of you. Myself, Ramashankar from the city Kanpur in India. Actually, I have started my research career from IIT, Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and the major achievement in India was the patent, and later it was recognized by the DST, Lockheed Martin, and Texas University, and rewarded with the gold medal. And later I decided to pursue my career in the research, and I applied for Taiwan scholarship, and I received in 2013 and joined the Department of Biomedical Engineering and Environmental Sciences in Tsinghua University, and successfully completed the degree in 2018. And a couple of months I worked in National University of Kaohsiung, and later moved to National Taiwan University. And currently I'm working in National Taiwan University as a postdoctoral fellow. So I'm quite happy because my research field is still going in the straight line, because whatever I'm doing is my interest. And that is based on the synthesis of zero-dimensional, two-dimensional material, graphene-based photosensitive material for environmental applications. And also, I often visit the National Synchrotron Research Center. That is one of the biggest facility here in Taiwan. And that is one of the biggest reason I stay in Taiwan. That the infrastructure for the research in Taiwan is really awesome, and it attracts many of these students from the India or abroad, English-speaking countries. And during the PhD, I used to lead the team which organized the Southeast Asia Young Research Program, where we can collaborate with the different universities, with the different countries, like in Southeast Asia, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, or Malaysia kind of countries. And that can also provide a platform for the student, international student, to visit Taiwan and also visit different universities in Taiwan. So I believe it was a nice step taken by our group, by Professor Dongrean. And there are a few challenges I faced during PhD. One is the language barrier, as I think most of the foreign students they are facing till now. And the another one is like applying the position for most of the PhD students. It is really difficult to find due to the Mandarin language, and the sites or other channels are still in Mandarin. And also if some of the students, they want to go for the academics, there is another difficulty to write the projects in Mandarin, because for international students it's really difficult. Maybe the interaction is all okay, but writing is one of the biggest challenges. And during PhD, actually I didn't face any such problem, but I feel most of the students are looking for the scholarship, the good scholarship like other countries are providing, even in India. But the university scholarship is quite limited and for the limited duration. And as far as the PhD student concerned, the duration is not only for 4 years, because for master it is 2 years and the PhD is 4 years. But sometimes the degree goes up to 6 years or 7 years, and in that time they need to pay their own fee for survival and also dorm fee or other things. So I think these are the challenges students are facing here. And I believe if there is like this situation can be polished, then it will be better to attract more Indian students or quality students from institutes like IITs or NIITs from India. So it will be better option for them to come Taiwan. And recently I can see the number of students are increasing in Taiwan dramatically. Earlier like hundreds, but now I can see in Tsinghua itself they are hiring around 200 students for PhD. So PhD is a higher degree, but most of the companies they are not looking for the PhD. So I think Taiwan should give some other opportunities in the academics as well as in the industry or R&D sector to hire these students, PhD students. I think they are much more capable, and maybe they are not looking for the higher salary than the master like too much. But if they will be given a chance to learn, or maybe if they can provide a short-term course for the Mandarin, like they are facing for the Mandarin language. So the short-term course for the language may help them to improve themselves, and also they can give their quality research, what they earned for last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and they can give in Taiwan. I think everybody might be happy to join the industries as well as the academics. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramashankar, for sharing your valuable experience, and I'm sure your experience will help Indian students in the future, and will attract more quality Indian students to Taiwan. Okay. The next I would like to invite is Mr. Vivek Hegde to share his experience about Taiwan and scholarship. Thank you.
I would like to thank MOPA for providing this opportunity. Currently, I'm working in Intel, Taiwan as a project coordinator. Basically, I work with Indian clients to know, because right now we are transferring some of the technologies from Taiwan to India. So Indian customers must know how it works. So my basic job is to communicate with Indian stakeholders and customers to know the technologies. Before joining Intel, I was in Delta Electronics as a project engineer, and I was doing the same job, transferring IoT and clean energy building technologies to Indian stakeholders. So I came to Taiwan in 2012 as a graduate student, and I completed my master's in National Tsinghua University. But I realized that when I started to work in Delta Electronics for 5 years, I realized I must learn Chinese, because to communicate with customers and to communicate with stakeholders, I must understand the technologies from Taiwan. So what I did was, after 5 years of my work, I took a short course, Chinese course for 6 months. That really helped me, because when I was a student, I was not so enthusiastic about Chinese language. But when I start work, I come to know that, yeah, Chinese, at least I must communicate, or I can understand what's going on in the meetings and all. So that really helped me, and I really thanks Manoj for that, because he helped. He told me, like, if I learn Chinese, then I can able to communicate well. So that is the most key point. I think many of us, like Indian students, when we come here, we don't think Chinese is one of the priority, but this really helps. So I would like to Indian students or whoever is looking for a job, they must even focus on Chinese language. at least they can understand what is going on. So even in data electronics, when I refer some candidates, the first question was like they can able to understand Chinese, then they are in for interview. So that's a basic requirement. So I must emphasize this point to Indian students if they are looking for a job. Apart from that, because I am transferring the technologies from Taiwan to India, so even in future I would like to continue the same. So I would like to work in this field to know, because Taiwan is a very good technological country, because they have very good hardware, especially in IoTs and the smart sensors. So I am working on this field, and I would like to transfer these technologies to India from through channels like Intel or whatever company I work in future. So I'm looking forward to work with Taiwanese companies in future too. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vivek Hegde, and sharing your thoughtful experiences and letting us know that how you are helping Taiwan and India in playing a very crucial role in the communication, especially in technology transfer. And I think that is the direction, and you have suggested a very right way to emphasize should be more on the language learning, as we have very brilliant students here studying in Taiwan, but the only problem they face is the language barrier. So today's call, today's event has given a very right direction that all students here, no matter apart from your own stream, field, you should focus on the language, and that will take you somewhere else. So you won't face the big trouble. And now I would like to invite
This stage where you are. We have a special guest right here, Dr. Dennis Wu, who knows India quite well, and he is currently the Secretary General of the Taipei Computer Association. Can I ask you to say something to us, please? Dennis?
Yeah, thank you for giving me this opportunity to give some my comments, suggestions, and contributions of what we did about the Indian talent program. In fact, I'm from the completely industry area, okay, from the technology, science, technology, those industry like ASUS, India Tech, and we strong all of our member companies. So I think I just get a lot of idea about what we should do in our organization for the future Taiwan, Indian, the talent program together. Give you some example. In fact, we have doing like a career seminar for Indian students with the Taiwanese industry, especially in the technology industry, which means ICT or communication, those companies for some talent employee, those things. And we cooperate with Tsinghua University, Professor Wang. In fact, I'm quite surprised, maybe I just got a fellow, I think you, right? Yes, the student. You are looking for some job, some channel to connect with Taiwan industry. So that's why I'm quite surprised. Maybe we should do some more, okay? So for the last 10 years, we already have some career seminar with Tsinghua University. Every year we got maybe like 400 Indian students in studying Tsinghua. I think most of them are postgraduate students. And so every year we have that one. I think it's a right connection or channel, okay, to go through to find some opportunity with the Taiwan industry. And also in last month, 2 months back, we had a big program about Indian student job opportunity with Wistron, actually. Okay, Wistron back to, I think last month, we just had a kind of the career seminar with Wistron, because they are looking for 100 job positions for Indian students. So during that time, we give them some suggestion about 200 candidates. 200 candidates. I don't know whether your information in our database or not, okay? But anyway, So they got some, I think it's around 40% or 50% of the student, they got a second interview. So the decision made by the company, we cannot decide by them, but we know they got over 40% or 50% of our suggestions get a second interview. Okay, so it's a kind of the right connection. So that's what I suggest is you have to find out some good channel. I don't want to say right, okay, everything's right. So it's a good connection, good channel to get a good information. I think it's very important. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you know, it's an idea about work in Taiwan or work with Taiwan. It's a bit different. Like our program, what we call it is a career with Taiwan, another career in Taiwan. I think it's a different concept, okay? So tell you what, be realistic to the company, to the industry, what they're thinking. Like my friend here, shut up. I think you got a very good idea to tell our Indian talent student here. So you just mentioned like this and that. What you have to consider about a company, what they are looking for first. Not consider what you are looking for first. You must consider about what the company interested first. Not consider what you interested first. It's a very important idea. Okay, but anyway, I think those ideas is not only for Indian students, but Taiwanese students, especially graduate, just graduate, the first time, the freshman to the job market. I think it's a very important idea. And also, to us, our Foundation for Commerce and Cultural Interchange, and also our second head is the Taipei Computer Association. We always to promote Taiwan ICT industry, the job, the technology image with Indian. So like, I think 2 months back again, so we held some like a career seminar via the video conference with the India. I just recall from my colleague. So it's Christ University, okay, in Bangalore, and VIT University, SRM University in Karnataka, I think. Okay, it's over 3,000 students in India. They participate in this like a video seminar. So we invite the Lantec, Restrong, MediaTek, and ASUS to give some speech via those video conference to Indian students in India. Because for those companies, they are looking for some employees in India. So what I want to tell you that is a bit different concept. Career in Taiwan or career with Taiwan. So to companies, they are looking for, most of them are looking for career with Taiwan. So maybe you will work for those companies in Taiwan or in India or in United States or in Mexico. Okay, so it's that's another idea for your reference. Okay. So the last I just want to mention and other channel information for you is that we have some kind of TISEC, Taiwan International Elite Student Club. So you can participate in those information in those clubs. And also we have some like social media, like Connect IT and FCC Facebook. I think if you want to get some more information, my colleagues here, Ashley, where's Ashley? Oh yeah. You can get some information from the back home. Okay. So last and but not least, okay. Thank you for this opportunity to give me some opportunity time to speak. Okay. Thank you.
We are almost 12 o'clock. This session is going to close very soon, but before that happens, I'd like to invite our host today, Deputy Minister Tian, to say a few words because he has some other areas to take care of. He will have to leave in a few minutes. But, Minister, please.
Well, I can't leave without saying appreciations for Tiba, for Ambassador Ong, wonderful moderator. I can't leave saying that I think this is the beginning of many, many more connections between the talented English students and our enterprises. I think we have listened to so many things about the talent, the connections, and so on and so forth. But there's one thing I think missing, I figure, is the connectivity, the information sharing probably is lacking. Because we have the Tsinghua University, or the Dr. Wu, they all established kind of a platform. There are so many opportunities, even your gentlemen. I think you also have some information, some channels. But for some reason, the channels has not been equally distributed or shared with your country in its students. So I would encourage your students probably going to establish kind of connections, connect with some associations, some platform, some like a Tiba, that kind of thing. Share all the information with your fellow Indian students, 3,000, if not more. So I think that probably will be very, very important starting point. And I also want to echo Dr. Wu saying, you have to think about, if you want to work in Taiwan, fine. There's another way to approach. But if you have to work with Taiwan, there's another way to contribute. I think that's very, very important. And Shodao just saying that, let me repeat it. What do you want or the company wants? They're totally two different things. So I'm happy and I'm really delighted. And I also learned a lot. I'm happy to see so many Indians after I left India. So it brings back a lot of good memories. For that, I want to thank Kish for your joining us. I want to thank you for inviting me for your wonderful Diwali. And I promise you, next year Diwali will be bigger ever Diwali. Thank you. I have to leave. Thank you.
可以请一下留意一下，我们请欧理事长，我们有一个小小的礼物要谢谢次长，所以我们请次长稍微留步，然后我们大家掌声，谢谢你次长的带来，代表台协会
理事长，是吧？还有几位 speaker, can we go come up for a group photo before Minister departure?
Thank you very much for please take your seats. Can we please request Professor Sridhar and Rama and please stand here for a moment. They'll just do the prices for me. 那我们也要请呼。好，我们现在进行贵宾合照。We're going to take a photo of this very momentous occasion with all of our speakers, our representatives from Tiba and MOFA, and also from IIT and our 4 outstanding Indian alumni in Taiwan. If you need them to look at your camera, please raise your hand. 如果需要看你的话，摄影师大哥，如果你需要他们看你的话，请举个手。好，我可以大家比个赞吗？ Can we do a thumbs up, please?
Yes. Good.
Thank you. 非常谢谢。Thank you.
So we're looking at a bigger Diwali next year and a bigger seminar next year, right? Thank you all. Thank you all.
interact with the Taiwanese companies. And today's companies which are present at this event, they are looking for Indian talents in Taiwan and India. So we have some famous companies like Tiba from Walgreens sectors. We have Restaurant, we have Pegatron. So all students are free to use their best time interacting with them. So we have served the lunch outside. Please feel to have the lunch. So we have vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Please help yourself. Thank you very much.